the release of The Curse of Monkey Island, not only did it help revive the dormant Monkey Island franchise, which had sat idly on the sideline for 6 long years, it also brought new attention and praise on the excellent work and careful attention to detail that the developers had poured into when making the game. Even Ron Gilbert himself acknowledged that Curse of Monkey Island was a great game for the franchise, and that the developers did a great job in respecting the Monkey Island franchise and crafting a superb adventure title as well. Flash forward another 3 years later, and we would see the next entry in the Monkey Island series, and unfortunately, it would also be the last one for quite some time. Escape from Monkey Island was a title that had ambitious goals for itself, but unfortunately, it also had its fair share of issues and problems that hurt the game significantly. While still somewhat positively received by gamers loyal to the franchise, it was nowhere near the same level of loyalty and support in comparison to The Curse of Monkey Island. One could also argue that this game led Lucasarts in stopping the development of adventure games for the foreseeable future, and their reluctance to back such projects already in production. Now, to bring you up to speed, by the year 2000, the mainstream adventure gaming genre in North America was literally on its last legs. Sierra, a few years removed having put out the much maligned and hated King's Quest VIII, had not found much success since then. And while LucasArts had made their own jump to 3D adventure gaming with the fantastic game, Grim Fandango, it did not sell well, despite receiving rave reviews from critics. Even with a gaming market not so supportive to adventure games, LucasArts still decided to go forward with the battle by once again employing Guybrush Threepwood, starring in his first 3D adventure. What kooky shenanigans would he get up to this time around? Where else would he explore in the vast world of the Monkey Island franchise? What is LeChuck's diabolical plan this time around? And what other surprises can we expect to see? Even with all these questions, the end results were not pretty. Not in the least bit.
I dump the toys, hoist the Jolly Roger, plunder the ship, decapitate their captain, and set fire to the bloody husk.
Well, I never.
Right, you are hardcore.
In Escape from Monkey Island, you once again step into the shoes of Guybrush Threepwood, back this time to foil some nefarious plot of epic and devious proportions. Oh wait, what's that? No, he's actually got to save his mansion from a demolition guy? Oh, okay, you know what, that's different. Okay, I get it. Fine, they're gonna go in a different direction. So are we gonna use adventure game logic to break his catapult, or come up with some clever solution to seriously confuse the demolition guy? Well, what's that you're saying? We're going to Lucre Island to drop a legal contract to stop the demolition guy from destroying the mansion, and we'll do so in a legally binding way? Wait, what the heck is going on? Wait, speaking of that, where the heck is LeChuck? He's not even in the beginning of the game yet. Ozzy Mandrill? Who the heck is this Ozzy Mandrill guy? Why is he a central villain? Look, I understand the need that they maybe want to change up the whole perspective by bringing in a new villain, but really, an Australian land developer, this is the best they could come up with? Alrighty then! So, while the story hasn't exactly started off on the right track, we can at least look at the marvelous graphics. I mean, look at it! This is the shift to 3D! This is a 3D adventure gaming in the flesh, or on your screen essentially. There is no more point and click moving anymore. Now you control the action with your keyboard. Yeah, that's awesome, isn't it? Not really, actually, because getting Guybrush to interact with certain objects or look in certain directions isn't always easy to do. And this can make the experience a heck of a whole lot more frustrating than it really should. Certainly, if you compare the graphics and sound changes that have been made since Curse of Monkey Island, you may not be as impressed. I'm personally more in favor of the sound in this game, but granted, the graphics aren't exactly horrible. They're just not the same style, obviously, and it'd be really hard to compare the two because they're really two different styles. The game has so much potential to be great. Not just looking at the fact that it's a Monkey Island game, there's a lot of great ideas in this game. The problem is it's not exactly stitched up together properly. The story, as I said, is a bit confusing, and it's really just a mess everywhere. Some of the ways in solving certain puzzles are not exactly straightforward. The locations you visit, while promising, are trying way too hard in trying to poke fun at certain things like commercialism, you know, the growth of commercialism. It doesn't fit in the Monkey Island universe. I understand what the developers were trying to do by being iconic and breaking the fourth wall sort of thing. I mean, they were already doing that in the first Monkey Island game, but it tries way too hard to be funny.
Iron Maiden! Excellent! I have no idea why I said that.
Oh, and the performance issues with this game can be quite staggering. Slowdown due to the reliance on a CD-ROM? Check. Trying to work around this will lead to timing issues with cutscenes, not playing properly, causing you to wait, and wait, and wait. Once more, the voice work is stellar in this game, and practically everyone from Curse of Monkey Island returns once again to reprise their own respective roles. Everyone, though, except Elaine, who gets replaced this time around. It's kind of a shame, but really the new voice actress isn't too bad in my opinion. She does a pretty decent job in showing Elaine as a bossy and somewhat controlling, but lovable wife to Guybrush.
And don't forget, stop the catapult, go to Luca Island.
Sounds like the honeymoon's over. She was a lot nicer before she died.
The game also puts on the nostalgia trip for gamers who grew up with the Monkey Island games, putting in a ton of old references to the past games, with certain characters being brought back, certain locations you'll be visiting, and of course the odd musical cue here and there. The problem is it doesn't do a nice job putting it all together as a cohesive piece like in the previous games. And the less said about certain ideas like monkey combats, the better. I mean, monkey combats is a horrible, horrible mess. Oh lord. I mean, what the heck happened with this game? I just don't understand how there's so much wrong with the game. The story is lousy. The technical issues certainly distract from the game, and they should have been fixed. Controls should have been smoother and easier to handle. The graphics, cutscenes, and sound are for the most part alright, but the overall progression of events, story and gameplay wise, just feels out of place. It really doesn't feel like the sequels that gamers were expecting after Curse of Monkey Island. I understand there was a shift to the 3D adventure gaming model, and maybe that could have hurt things, but really, when there was a mess with the story and gameplay already, there's no excuse. Up until a few years ago, this was the unceremonious end of the Monkey Island franchise. This was all we got. A game that was broken and terrible to the core. Thankfully, as I said, this was rectified a few years ago by Telltale Games with their episodic look at the Monkey Island franchise with the Tales of Monkey Island. A 5-episode look at Guybrush and company around Melee Island, doing piratey things and being a much more complete and fitting way of ending the Monkey Island franchise. For the foreseeable future, of course. Now, unless you're a hardcore Monkey Island fan who has to play every title in the series, or you're just curious about how odd this title may be, even still, I wouldn't recommend checking it out, even if you are that curious bunch. Still, if you do want to take a look at the game, you have your choice with either the PC version or a PS2 version if you can track it down. The choice is ultimately yours, and you can see why for so many years, this game was the conclusion of the franchise. And man, what a fitting way for a franchise so esteemed as Monkey Island was to end on such a sour note.